Sanders has the momentum. Now, tonight's debate in Brooklyn was as substantive as it was combative. Both candidates were looking for a knockout, and both came out swinging. Round one.
Do you believe that Secretary Clinton has the judgment to be president?
I do question her judgment. I question a judgment which voted for the war in Iraq, the worst foreign policy blunder in the history of this country. I don't believe that that is the kind of judgment we need to be the kind of president we need.
Mrs. Clinton firing back.
President Obama trusted my judgment enough to ask me to be Secretary of State for the United States. Senator Sanders' long interview with the New York Daily News, talk about judgment and talk about the kinds of problems he had answering questions about even his core issue, breaking up the banks. When asked, he could not explain how that would be done.
But Sanders held his ground, hammering Clinton on her ties to Wall Street.
When millions of people lost their jobs and their homes and their life savings, Secretary Clinton was busy giving speeches to Goldman Sachs for $225,000 a speech.
It's always important, it may be inconvenient, but it's always important to get the facts straight. I stood up against the behaviors of the banks when I was a senator.
Secretary Clinton called them out. Oh my goodness. They must have been really crushed by this. And was that before or after you received huge sums of money by giving speaking engagements?
If there is nothing in those speeches that you think would change voters' minds, why not just release the transcripts?
There isn't an issue. When I was in public service, serving as the senator from New York, I did stand up to the banks.
Gloves certainly came off. Well, Clinton and Sanders also sparred over minimum wage. Clinton supports raising the federal minimum wage to $12 an hour while supporting states' efforts to go higher. Sanders wants a $15 minimum wage, just like the one we have here in California. They also disputed their positions on guns, NATO, and the relationship between the United States and Israel. I'm John Fenolio in the newsroom. I'll send it back to you in the studio.